My dream is to be able to go to college.
To be a pediatrician.
Electrical engineering or mechanical engineering.
A nurse, because I want to help people.
At one point, about 1 out of every 4 students at Castle didn't even make it to graduation.
Just shutting down the school and sending everybody every place else. That's a reality.
Overseeing the redesign process for the Castle complex. That simply put was to return Castle High School to the Kane'ohe community where it belongs.
The community, after an intensive facilitated engagement process, has come to its own conclusions about what it wants education to look like.
Our story began because of the challenges and the harsh reality of what our students are facing. This one young man who was telling us a story about how he is coming to school in spite of the fact that he's been told to not come anymore because it's not worth it. But he really wants to make something of himself, and he had goals. And yeah, that was, because we heard several like that.
It is an area that's considered to be at the poverty level, with 85% of the students having free or reduced lunch.
My family, they don't have enough money to support what I want to do.
Castle High School is the only one consistently that hasn't made AYP from day one to now.
If you look at the plate of teachers, plate doesn't change sizes, but there's so much that is getting put on.
There are children that don't come from an intact family, and that poses a lot of challenges in that they might be in the child welfare system.
A lot of our families left us because they felt that we weren't good enough.
We built our public school systems to be relatively resistant to an easy interaction with the community.
So in schools, we create these walls, perceived or otherwise, and try to protect them from the world around them. I don't know if we're really protecting them versus isolating them.
There is mistrust between the community and the schools itself.
There is a critical need for kids to know that school is connected to the world that they live in.
I want to go out and do more hands-on things because I get bored in class a lot.
We take away from them instead of giving to them, and it pisses me off royal.
We can go outside and learn almost every day of the year because of our climate, and we're not taking advantage of that.
United by these challenges, the Kane'ohe community and their schools came together to create the educational dream.
The reconstitution is one of the sanctions that comes when you don't make AYP every year. It could be where you shut down the school, and it could have been where the principal's fired and 50% of the staff's let go. I don't have to live under the threat of reconstitution. I'm given an opportunity to redesign our school.
The big shift that we're looking for in the Castle redesign is twofold. One is something that really takes place in the school itself, which are the small learning communities, so that teachers and curricula can be more tailored to the specific desires of the kids.
So the Castle redesign has helped us take this kind of focus down to even preschool. We talk about careers, and we talk about their family, goals for their children.
The second part is the community partnership, and that is going out into the community and identifying those assets in the community that can reinforce or teach our kids.
Those businesses and those community groups and those parents, those teachers, the principals, the leadership, all came together and said, there is something here that we believe is so valuable and so unique. We want to work together to save this.
It was the student survey. Can you make education more relevant for me so that I know why I'm coming to school? That kind of was the impetus.
Two words come to mind: courage and hope.
We were impacting near over 4,800 kids potentially in the complex. It's a big responsibility.
We had to really come up with a plan that the community had to generate, not to give them a plan, but to create a plan with them. So when we had people comment on each other's ideas, we used the design thinking approach.
Design Thinking Hawaii is a volunteer group
of people just committed to making a difference in education. First step is empathy. It's the feeling part and the heart that really would make a difference in our success or failure. What's really important in that process is to build on each other, to really look at an aspect of team building and collaboration.
So the redesign opened the discussion for us to start coalescing all of these resources.
It's kind of that coconut wireless where, you know, you ask somebody and then they ask somebody, and that's kind of how we've been trying to approach it is you know, come to as many meetings as you can. You know,
Every frustration point translated into a sub-team that they led. And we were just there to facilitate and capture. And that was the real turning point, I think. I'm getting goosebumps talking about it.
Sometimes schools, you know, it's the fence around the school, and when you come into school, you're mine, and when you leave, you're back in the family. It's about breaking down that fence and saying, well, yes, you are welcome in my school.
And the way that we do that is by changing the culture of our schools.
A community school is where we come together and mutually use our resources for the benefit of our students and our community members.
Get outside of the four walls of that 30 by 30 square foot classroom into site-based, project-based, place-based education.
Last year, I actually got to go on the construction career day and engineering day, so that was probably the best thing for me because I want to be an electrical engineer.
Parents and community members and business people, they no longer view us as solely responsible for the education of students.
There is no real differentiation between the school and the community.
That makes the teacher want to stay in the classroom. It encourages them to continue with the profession.
They should get involved with what we're doing because we're the future.
Achieving this dream hinged on redefining the relationship between community and school.
What we realized through the redesign process is really that we all have the same goals and really want to see our kids succeed.
At the fish pond, they were talking about having people come down, and we had a blast. Kids were transformed.
My purpose, help reconnect children and adults and families to the community to learn all of the core areas, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, language arts, social studies, in the context of community, really began to transform these kids because they understood the relevance of what they were studying. Working side by side with each other, hand to hand, we aloha ke kahi I ke kahi. We share the love with each other. We all have a stewardship responsibility. We all have a responsibility to aloha aina.
I see Key as playing a role especially during non-school hours. That the campus is not just the school proper, it includes the space that we have in those critical times when kids can go astray, maybe when they're not being supervised by families.
This is mostly a research facility. In this little island in our bay, we also are developing education programs. What we're after, besides ocean literacy, is bringing out that next set of ocean managers and scientists, training them, getting them involved, getting them to understand the importance of science and research for the coming world. School groups can come out and do a formal program with us. They can do intensive labs, internships and other things, often in the field. We're always looking for ways to build stronger science and stronger community. We're linking traditional knowledge and modern knowledge and community, and we're moving forward.
I would say it's better than sitting behind a desk because you actually get to go see if you want to do something.
I learn better when I feel and touch and have more activities because it gets your brain involved and you're more active. Go field trips!
The purpose of our foundation is to strengthen the vibrancy of communities in Windward, Oahu, close the achievement gap in public schools throughout the state, primarily through investing in school-level leadership. Our foundation provided small grants to help create the Castle Complex Community Council.
It is a collaborative forum to address issues the complex is challenged with.
There's a separate effort that the C4 championed last year, which is to put together a family engagement policy for the complex. And we're rolling that out concurrently with this redesign effort.
Everybody makes an effort, a community effort, that it makes the activity that much more successful.
And using cell phone, texting, phone trees, that are social networking like Facebook.
Even the old school Hawaiian Facebook, as you see them in times, hey, you coming to, just getting the word out.
We've had all of these activities coming together, and the redesign is an opportunity to coalesce it into a focused activity.
School and community stakeholders continue to come together. And as these relationships grow and evolve, we get closer to achieving our dream.
That our kids, they get the sense of they're important. The emotion comes from, everyone trying so hard. We only have so much time before we're on to the next place.
The implementation will be an entirely new set of challenges.
Makahana ka'ike. From the doing comes the knowledge.
It's the hope that we're trying to give every student.
Said, I see what your dreams are and we're going to help you get there.
Our students have great potentials. We need to believe in them. We need to believe in ourselves.
I feel like I could contribute to the community.
I'm proud of our community.
All of this has been worth it.
We all have times of fear and despair, but we can also all transform fear and despair into courage and hope. One can also find in every community powerful examples of kinship and care, creativity and engagement. Our children need to see those examples and to feel the community supporting them, so that they might become productive individuals who will then impact and serve their communities. We need to remind our children that a small number of people can make a big impact.